Good afternoon. Welcome to TNCRadio.live. This is the Truckers Network Radio Show. And now here's your host, Shelley Johnson.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Yes, this is the Truckers Network Radio Show on TNCRadio.live, where we offer the entertainment, sports, weather, traffic, news, and information that our commercial drivers want to hear. Truckers Christmas Group is an all-volunteer nonprofit made up of professional drivers and other volunteers who make Christmas just a little brighter for drivers and their families who have fallen on hard times. We're getting into the holiday season, so I wanted to feature them today. They do such wonderful work. In the past 13 years, the group has helped over 217 trucking families with over $127,000. The group has some exciting things that they're doing this year, and there's help that they need with their fundraising activities. With us today are Tom Kyrk, who does marketing for TCGO, folk singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company to talk about everything that's going on. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks so much, Shelley.
Yes. I thought I'd begin with you to give a little background on TCGO for people who aren't familiar. What do you do for drivers and their families?
Basically, we're a nonprofit that tries to identify drivers and their families who may have fallen on hard times this year. It could be anything from maybe a last-minute job loss, medical issues, any number of things that have put the family under financial stress going into the holiday season. We try to identify them. We give them a non-restricted grant of a guaranteed minimum of $500 to help them through that. And they can use that to pay bills, if they need to put food on the table for Christmas dinner or the family in general, maybe buy a few small presents for the kids. Whatever it may be, that's kind of how we basically work. We identify those who are struggling, have pretty much lost their hope, and try to give them just a little bit of hope for the Christmas season.
It's a really wonderful story on how you began. Did you want to give us a little bit of history?
Sure. It basically started back in 2005. A driver that some people may remember by the name of the wonderful Wayne Hartman was on one of those old bulletin boards forums that really, in some ways, predecessed Facebook and modern social media for drivers. And he was on there talking to a bunch of drivers in one of these online groups and basically said, hey, I've had a really good year. I want to help a trucking family who's maybe had a hard time. What can we do to help these? And this began back in, like I said, back in 2008, where they started doing that. So he reached out, other drivers, says, hey, this is a great idea. We want to help. We want to be involved too. And next thing you know, they said, we had so much fun doing it this year. Let's do it another year and another year. And that basically gave birth to the group that is Truckers Christmas Group today.
You guys have really done some wonderful things for families. And last year you had a record-setting year. You're seeing even more demand this year. Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on with that?
The last 2-3 years, we have seen our, if we look back, let's say when I first started in the group about 2019 or so, if we got maybe 20 some applications, that was a good year for us. And it helped on average probably between 10 and 15 families. And about 2-3 years ago, all of a sudden, it basically doubled in 1 year to a little over 30. And then the next year, which was last year, we went up to about 35 families that we were able to help. And already this year, we saw basically the day applications opened up. They've started to come in. We know based on some people who had reached out to us early this year, we got a whole bunch more names we're expecting to see come in from people who said they might need some assistance. So in that sense, we're already seeing a lot. But the biggest thing we've really noticed in the last few years is the amount of people who are having major medical issues. Drivers who have maybe had heart attacks, strokes, accidents, many times no fault of their own, out on the road with injuries, cancer, of them or a family member. And roughly 2/3 or a little bit better than that of everything we do is medical based in some way. So that has actually probably increased as well since we first started. Before it was a little bit of everything. Now I mean, I could probably say it's over 80% and get away with that number, our medical base, but I like to be a little conservative and go with 2/3 just to be, in case I miss somebody there when we do the math. But
Sure.
yeah, the amount of medical need, as particularly cancer, it seems like every year the number of people impacted by cancer is going up. So the need's definitely going up. One of the things that we've been able to do the last couple of years is drivers who have been facing a terminal life situation from cancer and other disease, they have been nominated by someone, and we reached out to them. We're able to help them. But later hear back from the family that, this was a driver who was basically having trouble putting food on the table because of all the medical bills. And then all of a sudden they're like, this group comes out of nowhere and lets me to buy just a few small gifts for my kids or my nieces and nephews. So we can create a lasting set of memories, something positive, so that my last Christmas with them is not going to be, all depressing and sad. There's at least some good memories in that. So that's one of the things that I'm very proud we've been able to do for a lot of these families, is create some positive memories when really they didn't have that much positive at this time of year because of what they were going through.
Oh, it's huge what your group is doing. How does this all work? Do people nominate, or do they submit their own applications? How do you get help? I know you got a lot of elves, and everybody works out of their trucks too, that's amazing.
It is. We do have one or two volunteers who are not truck drivers. They're wives or people who have a passion for the trucking industry who work out their homes. But the core group, every single one of us, a truck driver, we do this from our trucks. Basically, to answer your earlier question, the answer is yes. It's probably a roughly even mix of people who nominate themselves and people that nominate someone else. You can go to tcgo.org. At the top of the page here, you'll see a bunch of little buttons. One of them says nominate a family. That will open up a form that you can fill out. When you fill out that form, you'll put in the basic information, name, address, all the normal stuff you would expect. And we also tell you, if you're nominating someone and you don't know how long they've been in a trucking industry or who they're working for, that's fine. Just fill in as much as you know. That's perfectly acceptable. There's a little box there that says, do you wish to remain anonymous? So, Shelley, let's just say you want to nominate a driver who's had fallen on hard times, but you don't want them to know who it was. You can go in there, fill all that out, click on that and remain anonymous. That information will be kept confidential. Likewise, if you feel you've fallen on hard times and wanted to apply, you could go ahead, fill that in. We don't really consider that any differently than if someone else nominates you, because we know how difficult it can be for a lot of drivers to say, hey, things aren't going great. We need some help right now. And we know what a struggle that can be. So you go in, you fill out that application. Some of our elves will reach out to you, basically ask some questions about the nomination, reach out to the family involved, ask some questions, basically say, tell us your story. We gather all that information, and then the elves go through and have the hard job of ranking all the applicants we receive. They're pretty much ranked. Every elf ranks on a 1 to 10 score in a couple of categories. We add up those scores, and basically once all the applications have been edited, we start at the very top and we start passing out the money. Everybody gets the same amount, like I said, a guaranteed minimum of $500, and we start working down the list till we run out of money. So once we run out of funds, unfortunately, we can't help any more families. That has happened a couple of years. Fortunately, the last 2 years, that has not happened. And we don't want it to happen again this year. We actually would really love to never see that happen again. So that's why we work so hard, doing so many different things to raise funds to help these families in need.
And we're trying to rally the troops for you by getting the word out, because contributions and purchasing from your store and all of that's going to help these drivers and their families.
It definitely will. I mean, we've had great people like Jeremiah Craig, who's helped us in so many ways. We've got some great new items that we can talk about later. They're going to be in the store. But, you can shop our online store. There's some great items in there. You can just do a direct donation where you click the Please Donate Now button. You'll go ahead, fill out a little form. That's a secure way you can do it. We've added something new this year. For people who want to donate from their cell phone, you can send a text to 540 Rudolph and just text the word donate, and you'll be given the information on how you can donate directly from your cell phone.
Excellent. We need to go to break here, and I also want to talk about Jeremiah Craig and Kimber Broh from the Heritage Boot Company, see who they are, what they do, and what they're doing with TCGO this year. This is so much fun, and everybody needs to stay tuned because there's some exciting stuff coming up that TCGO is doing this year. You're listening to the Truckers Network radio show on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly. Stay tuned.
This blog on TNCRadio.live is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. Inspections for truck drivers. Getting stopped for an inspection in the middle of a delivery is a situation every truck driver dreads. Inspections are time-consuming and interfere with the driver's schedule for delivering their load on time. However, they are essential for regulating safety conditions for everyone on the road. There's 6 different levels of DOT roadside inspections. Each level has a unique set of requirements and can happen at any time. It's important to be familiar with all 6 levels of DOT inspections, so if you have one, you can pass. Level 1, North American Standard Inspection. The Level 1 inspection is often referred to as a full inspection and is the most thorough. There are 37 steps to a Level 1 inspection. During this inspection, the driver's credentials and the vehicle will be examined. Because the Level 1 inspection has so many steps, it does take a significant amount of time. A good way to help speed up the process of a Level 1 inspection is by staying on top of driving requirements and proper truck maintenance. Here's some things the inspector will check during a Level 1 inspection. Medical examiner certificate, alcohol and drug use, daily logs, hours of service, HOS documentation, seat belt use, driver and vehicle inspection reports, brake system, chopping devices, exhaust system, truck frame, fuel system, turn signals, brake lamps, tail lamps, headlamps, lamps on projecting loads, safe loading, steering mechanism, suspension, tires, van and open-top trailer bodies, wheels and rims, windshield wipers, hazardous material, HM requirements. If you're a hazard hauler, have your shipping papers ready. Level 2. Walk-around driver vehicle inspection. Level 2 inspections are a less invasive process and are also the most common. They're similar to the Level 1 inspections, except there is less involvement in the vehicle inspection part. During the Level 2 inspection, the examiner will do a walk-around driver vehicle inspection. They'll check everything that's in a Level 1, but will not physically get under the vehicle. Level 3. Driver-only inspection. The Level 3 inspections are the second most common type of inspection. Since the inspection doesn't include the vehicle, it can go relatively quickly. A driver will be expected to present a record of duty status, that's RODS, driver's license, hazmat requirements, medical card and waiver, skill performance evaluation certificate, vehicle inspection report, HMDG requirements, and HOS documentation. Level 4. Special inspections. A Level 4 inspection is a one-time inspection of a specific trend within the industry. This type of inspection happens when the Department of Transportation wants to do further research on industry issues. Level 5. Vehicle-only inspection. A Level 5 inspection is like Level 1, but the driver is not present during the inspection. During this inspection, the examiner will check everything that's in the Level 1 inspection except those relevant to the driver. Level 6 Enhanced NAS inspection for radioactive shipments. The Level 6 inspection is only relevant to drivers that haul radioactive materials. These inspections are put into place to ensure that drivers who haul radioactive material are following proper safety protocol. This info blog was brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Remember to tune into the Truckers Network radio show with Shelley Johnson weekdays at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly. And we're talking with Tom Kyrk from Truckers Christmas Group, singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company. We're discussing everything that TCGO is doing this year, which is pretty exciting. Tom, you've given us a really good background on what TCGO does, and you've gotten so many people and a lot more people supporting your cause, which is wonderful. Singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company are two of those people. I want to get everyone acquainted with them as well. I think I'll start with Jeremiah. Jeremiah, if you want to tell everybody who you are and the involvement you've had with TCGO.
Sure, yeah. Thanks, Shelley. Hey, everybody. My name is Jeremiah Craig. I am a singer-songwriter and YouTuber. I make YouTube videos about cowboy boots, and so my channel is sort of this weird mix of folk music and cowboy boots. It's kind of fun. You should check it out, Jeremiah Craig on YouTube. And last year, I was talking with you, Shelley, here on the TNC Radio Live show, and you asked if I could play the Christmas concert on your program. I said, totally, let's do it. And I did the ad reads for Truckers Christmas Group, and ever since then, Tom and I have been talking, and I really like what he does with Truckers Christmas Group organization, and I always like to help out in any way that I can. So the concert that we got coming up this Saturday, right, Tom, on the Facebook page?
This Saturday. Yep, it'll be at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern.
That's so cool.
And Heritage Boot was also kind enough to work with us on a raffle that we're doing all together here. It's like this beautiful mixture of Truckers Christmas Group, music, raffle, all to help raise funds this season. And I just love it, and I want to support out however I can.
Oh, I think it's wonderful what you're doing. Kimber, would you like to tell us a little bit about Heritage Boot Company and what you guys are doing? And I've been looking at your website. You've got some beautiful boots.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Thanks, Shelley. I am actually wearing one that I'll have to send y'all a picture of. It's Shaved Navy Stingray to be released in probably a couple of weeks onto our Instagram, and it's called The Desire. So I want to thank Jeremiah for introducing us to Truckers Christmas. We don't, aren't able to give to every charity that reaches out, but this one is incredibly special because it does give people an opportunity to have a Christmas, which I think everyone should have, a grand Christmas, to always have those memories to carry with them. As far as Heritage Boot, we do a handmade boot you can buy off the shelf right now. We are owned by Allie Twigger, Stephen Twigger, her husband, and myself. And that's a story how that came to be. We worked there. The owner decided to retire. We didn't know what we were going to do. And so we bought the store, and carrying on the brand and these incredibly made boots was very important to us. And then beginning to add our own little flair into the design, that we tried to maintain 30s through 60s vintage inspired designs. Do classic cowboy boots. They're incredibly comfortable. And we are just a small business who really takes care of our customers. We remember them. We know the sizes they wear. We love welcoming new people into our Heritage family. Jeremiah is now one of us as well. And we would love to show anybody that wants to see any boots that we have in the store. We can do a FaceTime. We can do a Zoom call, whatever you want to do, or just send photos by text. So that's what we do. And we're in Austin, Texas, on the historical South Congress Avenue, where it is a historical shopping district. And you can recognize us by our black-based mural from Carlos Hernandez on the front and our neon boot.
They're beautiful boots. I wanted to digress for just a moment. What makes a good boot? I mean, these look like they're just beautifully made, the handwork and all of that. It's I'm not a boot expert, so I guess maybe if you could give us a crash course.
Okay, a crash course on a really good boot is going to be a layered leather sole. It's going to be the lemonwood pegs. It's going to be a really nice calf or cowhide or exotic skin that makes a boot well. It's going to have a really well carved out layered leather sole, heel. It's going to have a double thick hand carved piece of leather on the heel counter. So it responds to the warmth of your foot and shapes to your heel. And it's going to, the arch, it's going to be a hand carved metal arch support that hits your arch exactly where it should. And the toe shape is going to be, each toe shape is defined by each boot company. We keep it simple. We have a snip toe, a French toe, and a pointed toe. And what you'll find is each toe fits people differently, because everybody's foot is kind of unique. And so they do, some fit better in the French toe, some fit better in the snip. I myself go better into the pointed toe, has to do with where my foot gets wide. So that is very important. And the fact that they're handmade and fully leather, when you walk and that heat of your foot, the more you wear them, they shape to your foot. And that's what makes a great cowboy boot, that it shapes to your foot. It just becomes a sock on your foot. And it also offers you this incredible swagger and style that no other footwear can.
Oh, sure. And you do see people kind of swagger with their boots, especially when they've got a really good pair. So boots basically get better with age, right?
Oh, absolutely. I have a 28-year-old pair that I just won't get rid of, because they're mine, and they have so many stories to tell.
This is exciting. Mr. Kyrk, if you could tell us a little bit about how is there's a raffle for Heritage Boot Company. Tell us about some of the stuff that's going on with TCGO. This is really exciting.
Well, we've got 3 really cool raffles this year. So we're going to go to the 2 that are good to the one I'm really excited about. And they're all great. We got our annual 50-50 raffle, where you can go online and basically whoever wins, 50% of the proceeds goes to the winner, 50% of the proceeds goes to the charity. A really nice, simple way that you can help. Tickets are $5 each, 3 for 10, 10 for 20, and 30 for 50. So there's some great deals on tickets. Road Pro family of brands, who's been a very generous sponsor to us for the last several years, is doing their 3rd annual holiday raffle for us, where there's a whole bunch of stuff that truck drivers or people who travel would like, ranging from their lunchbox oven, stove on the go, a duffel bag, a 12-volt electric blanket, the 12-volt coffee maker, and a really great CB radio that is Bluetooth and has a hands-free Bluetooth headset. So if you want to work on, talk on the CB radio, you no longer have to key the microphone. You can just use that Bluetooth headset, and that's valued at over $500. The tickets for that, once again, are 5 for 10. I believe it's 10 for 20. Make sure I get these right here. Otherwise, Santa Claus will put me on his naughty list. It's 1 for 5, 3 for 10, 7 for 20, and 50 for 100. So, there's some great deals there, and there's more in that package than what I mentioned. But here's the raffle that I'm really, really excited about. Heritage Boots generously has donated, that pair of boots, and Lucchese has also donated a pair of full quill ostrich. So there's 2 separate raffles under the boot. You can choose either or you can buy tickets for both. So whichever boot you buy tickets for, you're only in that particular booth raffle. So if you like one better than the other, and you buy, let's say, 25 tickets for $100, all 25 tickets are going to go to the boot that you chose. So you have 1 ticket for 10, 3 for 20, 7 for 40, and 25 for $100. So there is definitely some great deals there. And when I saw these, the boots that Heritage gives up, when I first looked at them, I'm looking at, okay, they're the Spanish style. I'm not sure if I really like that particular styling. And then I started looking at the details, at the pictures, and I've fallen in love with these boots. They're absolutely gorgeous. Because I'm a volunteer, unfortunately, I can't buy tickets. Otherwise, I probably would have already bought about 50 of them by now. But these are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous boots. Both pairs are gorgeous, but Heritage, I want to really thank you, Kimber, for so much for this, because I know as a smaller company, you can't help every charity, and the fact that you chose us as a partnership in this thing, we're very grateful and very honored by that.
Well, thank you for those compliments. That boot is, I own the women's version. I believe that boot is called the Flores boot, and it's a fully hand-tooled boot. And during a little aside, during the Depression is when they started tooling boots and started doing the shorter boots, was because they were trying to ration leather and thread, but still managed to have quite the statement by wearing their boots and the boots they made. So that gives you a little historical background on that boot.
This is wonderful.
And they're absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous boots.
Well, we're honored. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes because what you do, I mean, all charities do something really good, but this couldn't be more on brand and more close to our hearts as far as giving everybody the opportunity to have a grand Christmas.
This is so cool. Thank you so much, Kimber, for being involved with this. And this is going to be a treat for whoever wins those boots for sure. We have to go to break here. We're talking with Tom Kyrk from Truckers Christmas Group, singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company. Stay tuned for more to learn what's going on with TCGO right here on the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. Finding a safe place to park your rig at night can be a challenge on the road. The Truckers Network, a membership resource site for trucking companies, company drivers, and owner-operators, proudly partners with Truck Park to offer safe and secure overnight truck parking to all Truckers Network members. Truck Park is the digital truck parking leader and America's fastest growing truck parking service. The Truckers Network exists to link truck drivers with the best quality trucking products and services the industry has to offer. Finding safe overnight parking is crucial for truck drivers, and many drivers struggle with finding available parking spots. The limited parking availability causes drivers to lose sleep, which poses a safety risk to others on the road. Safe parking is valuable for drivers and the cargo they're transporting. With this partnership, Truckers Network members will have access to a discount code and be able to reserve parking spots in real time along their truck route at a reduced price. Truck Park gives drivers access to parking locations across most of the United States. Simply enter the city and state to view available parking spaces nearest a pickup or delivery point, then pay to reserve. Parking rates vary at each location, with some rates as low as $10. Truck Park is a values-based company that empowers truck drivers while providing a safe and unmatched experience. The company offers a quick way to find and reserve parking spots throughout the U.S. Truck drivers have access to Truck Park's free mobile app to easily begin reserving parking spots based on their truck route. About the Truckers Network. The Truckers Network exists to link truckers and trucking businesses throughout the United States. The company's mission is to make the life of a truck driver easier by connecting drivers to the highest quality trucking products and services to keep their trucks on the road.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Claire Dunn, and you're listening to TNCRadio.live.
Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show here on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly, and we're talking with Tom Kyrk, who's the marketing director from Truckers Christmas Group, singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company, who has generously donated a wonderful pair of hand-tooled boots for a TCGO raffle. This is just so very cool. And Jeremiah Craig is helping out with his wonderful music. Tom Kyrk, tell us more about what is going on with TCGO this year, because there's a ton of stuff that's really something to be excited about.
There really is, and an hour almost seems too short, but we're going to try to cover it all. And we're going to do our second annual Christmas concert. Now, 3 years ago, we had a few different musicians who put out some music for us on their Facebook pages and telling people about TCGO and encouraging them to donate. And last year we said, well, let's put together a Christmas concert. And we put it together, and it worked pretty well. It got put together kind of at the last minute. But, Bill Weaver, Jeremiah Craig, a bunch of different people participated, and it was a lot of fun. And, Shelley, you, Tom Kelly, and a few other people, myself, says, if we're going to do it this year, let's try to do a little bit bigger. Let's try to do a little bit better. So we've been working on it for a little while. Jeremiah has come back. His friend Laura Joy, who helped us during our Christmas concert this summer, should be appearing as well. We're going to have some music videos that Bill Weaver, Joey Holiday have helped us put together. But we've got a bunch of great musicians: Ken Freeman, my mind keeps going blank. Oh yeah, this guy from Canada by the name of Tim Hicks has put together a set for us. Phenomenal musician there. We've got a couple surprises that are in store if everything falls together. So you're going to actually have to watch the concert to find out what that is. You can watch it on Facebook, or if you're going down the road, we always say here at TNC Radio, keep your eyes on the road and your ears on us. So you can listen to the concert on tncradio.live, so you don't have to watch it. And it'll be available both on Facebook and YouTube later on, so you can watch if you want to watch the whole thing. But there's going to be a bunch of really great stuff, great musicians. We're going to tell a little bit about the TCGO story, feature some products. OIDA is once again sending some OIDA merchandise for our online store. That's kind of semi-exclusive to this year. We've got some stuff from previous years as well. This great company by the name of Twisted Willow Fabrication. Don't know if you've ever heard of them, Jeremiah. But this company called Twisted Willow Fabrication has worked together with us for some custom TCGO merchandise, which is going to be debuted that weekend. We got a really great laser engraved coffee tumbler from them with the TCGO logos, and there's some customization of options available there, some keychains, some Christmas ornaments, really some great stuff. And we couldn't have done that without Jeremiah connecting us with the great people over at Twisted Willow. They're just absolutely phenomenal people. And we're very blessed to have all this stuff that just is working out. The right people are getting together at the right time to make this work. And that's kind of, truckers are notorious for just figuring out ways to make things work. And once again, this is kind of showing true this year of overcoming adversity. As drivers, we've dealt with the pandemic in a bunch of different ways. It's had direct and indirect impacts on us and our families. And this is just a way that we can show appreciation to our fellow drivers who's maybe fallen on some hard times, and just give back a little bit to the community in a bunch of different ways. So we're really looking forward and really glad to be participating in this.
So cool. Jeremiah, I wanted to ask, so what exactly, can you give us a clue of what you're going to be playing for the concert, or?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I can say that I do two traditional, I guess they're carols, right? So start out with Jingle Bells and end with Joy to the World. And I've never played those songs anywhere ever, except for what's coming up here, the TNC or the Truckers Christmas Group concert that can also be heard here on the TNC Radio Live. I'm so pumped for it.
Cool. And I love your voice, and I love your renditions of things, Jeremiah. So it's going to be a real treat.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
That Jingle Bells was a little different.
It was different, and I liked it. But I'm going to give a shameless plug for Jeremiah here. Please listen to his version of Joy to the World. It is absolutely gorgeous. To anybody who knows some of the history behind some of those songs from that era, a lot of them were designed to be played on something as simple as a guitar, and he does an absolutely beautiful job on it. I mean, everything he did in his set is great, don't get me wrong, but that is perhaps one of the prettiest, simplest versions I've ever heard of Joy to the World. And every time I hear it, it's made me smile. I've probably listened to that thing at least 6 times so far.
That's
with
neat.
getting the concert ready, and I probably have at least another 2 or 3 more. I'm going to listen to it before it's done. So,
Thanks, Tom.
Definitely the set. I mean, his whole set is great as usual. But like I said, that Joy to the World just really moved me. And you're right, that Jingle Bells version was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had to pull out the harmonica for that one.
That works.
Thanks, Tom. I'm glad you like that.
Now, can people contribute while they're listening to the concert? How does all of this work?
The best way to always contribute to us is directly through through the TCGO webpage with the donate link, because that money does get to us directly. We will have a link set up on Facebook for those who prefer to use the Facebook option, and that is a good way to donate. The problem is when you go through things like Facebook, or some of the times people do Facebook fundraisers or other giving type fundraisers for us, such as GoFundMe, they may put together a fundraiser for us. And that is always appreciated. We do encourage it. Just a reminder, a lot of times because of how they handle their money, we might not see that money until our 2022 season. So it will still go to help drivers, which is great, but it may not get to us in time for 2021. So we always say, do that text to donate using 540 Rudolph, or go right to the Truckers Christmas Group website, tcgo.org. Those are the ways that we basically get the money in our account for practical purposes that day. So that's always the best way. But like I said, there will be Facebook and YouTube fundraisers that I already know different people will be setting up for us. Those are great ways to help too. And especially if you want to help us on Giving Tuesday, Facebook is a good way to help us because Facebook does match a certain percentage of donations that are given to charities on Giving Tuesday, up to a certain dollar amount. So we always encourage people, if you want to do the Facebook donation, if you want to donate during the concert, that's great. But if you donate on Giving Tuesday, Facebook does match it, but we always encourage you to do it early in the day because Facebook does set a cap as to how much they're going to match.
Okay. When is Giving Tuesday for those who may not be familiar?
It is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So you've got Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. I forget what Sunday is.
Cyber Monday. And Giving Tuesday. Okay. Good. So people know that would be an additional way for people to help kind of maximize donations too. That's great.
It really is. And we got a couple very generous donations last year that were doubled. So, Giving Tuesday really does matter to us like it does to many charities, especially if you do it through Facebook, because that gives us a little bit of a jump start going into the next year so that when we open up nominations, we don't feel like we're already with our backs against the wall. We feel like we have a little bit of breathing room, which is always great. But, that said, anything that anyone wants to donate, whether you do it through the website or through Facebook, always goes to help the drivers. No one at TCGO takes a salary.
I was going to mention that, and that's huge.
It really is. Really the only expenses are the obvious ones, things like the website, phone expenses, the actual business expenses that we need to do, shipping. Well, we do cover some of the shipping. Let me rephrase that. Well, we do charge for some of the shipping items from our store. Sometimes what we charge may not always be as much as it costs to ship it. So can be sometimes a little bit of a hit there. Especially if it's something that goes up into Canada, because that's something I have forgotten to mention. We do serve both U.S. and Canadian drivers.
Oh, good point. Yep.
So if you're a Canadian driver or know of a Canadian trucking family in need, please definitely nominate them. We've already seen a couple applications come in from there this year, and we've been able to help quite a few of them in the past as well. So that's something there, and we do have items to go back and forth. But the shipping, when you're a small charity, a small business, can eat you alive. And when we look at some of our shipping bills, I mean, somebody had to ship something up to Canada not too long ago, and we thought for a minute there we were going to have to call 911 because of the heart palpitations when they saw the bill.
I bet. That's why we need to have people get involved and contribute so that you guys can do this and actually help the families and not spend it all on shipping. Oh, my goodness. We need to go to break here. This is the Truckers Network radio show here on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly, and we're talking with Tom Kyrk from Truckers Christmas Group, singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company. We've got a lot of more information here to discuss, so definitely stay tuned right here on TNCRadio.live.
The info blog on TNCRadio.live is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. A truck driver's guide to balancing work and home life. Truck driving's hard and demanding work. Becoming a truck driver means spending many hours and days on the road. You'll sacrifice a lot for your trucking career. For many long-haul truck drivers, it's hard to separate life at work from life at home. Learning how to have a balance between home life and work life is essential if you want to have a long-lasting career in trucking. Check out our guide to balancing work and home life for truck drivers. Get enough sleep. Getting the recommended amount of sleep each night is a rare thing for truckers. Although sleep may be difficult for truckers because of the uncomfortable way of living, it's essential to their well-being and safety. Start prioritizing sleep. and make a sleep schedule. Set an alarm for a certain time and turn off all electronics and get your much-needed sleep. Not enough sleep can make life on the road miserable. Exercise often. Due to the many hours of sitting each day, truckers start to experience body pain and health issues. Not exercising and taking care of your health can cause a lot of problems in the long run. You could be out of a job and possibly out of work. Eat healthy. Having your truck stocked with healthy snacks and meals while you're on the road will help teach you how to have a healthy work-life balance. Start making it a habit to go to the grocery store before you head out on the road. Also, avoid eating at fast food restaurants and truck stops. Do not think about work when you're at home. Whether you love trucking or hate it, you've probably thought about your job while you're off the clock. It can be difficult to separate the two. Thinking about work too much while you're at home can make you anxious, sleep-deprived, and put you in a bad mood. Instead of worrying about work, try picking up a new hobby or exercising. Spending time with friends and family can also get your mind off things. Make time for family. It doesn't matter if you're on the road or at home. Make time for family. Make it a priority to talk to someone in your family once a day. It can be tough for truckers, especially OTR truckers, to maintain relationships with their family due to the trucking lifestyle. Keeping in contact with your loved ones will help life on the road be less lonely. For more information, be sure to check out the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
For the latest in traffic, weather, and information, catch the Morning Grind weekdays right here on tncradio.live. This is the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly. We're talking with Tom Kyrk from Truckers Christmas Group, singer-songwriter Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company, who are all working together to make a great Christmas for truckers and their families. Mr. Kyrk, please tell us more about TCGO's needs and what the group's doing so that we can help you meet your goals.
Well, the number one need of any charity, particularly this time of year, is funds. So people can help by donating at tcgo.org, clicking on that donate link. They can also donate by texting donate to 540-RUDOLPH and following the instructions there. We have that online store where you can get things like CB radios. We have a great OPS1 oil purification filter. Brake safe stuff. What was the other big thing? The Air Dog fuel air separation filter, and so much more. The Kevin Rutherford scan gauge. So many great items. Take a few minutes, go through there. We have everything that somebody could want from their truck, ranging from kind of the small and inexpensive all the way up to the more expensive stuff for the truck. We have those three great raffles that I mentioned, the 50-50 raffle, the Road Pro raffle, and that boot raffle where you can choose which boot you would like to go for or both. So we've got some great raffles there. You can share our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram posts where we tell people about what we are, what we do, share the concert, attend the concert, encourage your friends to watch. All those are just simple things you can do to get the word out. Nominate a family if you know of a family in need. Those are things we need. But the last thing we can always use is volunteers, whether it's people to help with various fundraising activities, volunteers that help with the vetting process of all the families involved and everything that's involved with that. We can always use volunteers. You can learn a little bit more about that on the TCGO webpage. Just click the volunteers button, or you can email mark@tcgo.org to find out exactly what's involved. And because we all are truck drivers, everything's set up to be remotely. I don't think we've ever had a formal face-to-face meeting. Maybe we'll have a face-to-face meeting if 2 or 3 truck drivers show up at the same truck stop, and then it's just kind of a more of hi, how are you doing kind of a thing. But all of our meetings are done over the phone, so you don't have to worry about that. And I think I got everything I needed to say said.
I think so. What is your deadline for contributions? Because obviously you have a time frame you have to work within too.
Oh, that does. You remind me of a couple things. Nominations this year are going to close on December 13th. And then right around December 15th, we're going to start notifying the families that we're able to help. So in order to make sure the money gets to the families this year, we really need it by December 15th to know how much money we're going to be working with. But you can donate year round. There's items usually in our store year round. And if you do miss that, let's say December 15th cutoff for donations helping families this year, that's fine, because that money is going to roll over till next year. And those 3 raffles that I mentioned, please go ahead and buy tickets right up until Christmas Eve. The drawing will be held by our very own Santa Claus. That's CLAWS. Watch the Facebook live feed when he does the drawing. You'll understand why. But our Vice President Greg and his cat, Santa Claus, draws out the winners.
Okay.
So that will be on usually on Christmas Eve when that occurs, and the winners will be notified. But yeah, definitely, those are the dates you need to remember. If you want to nominate a family, do it by December 13th. The sooner, the better, because the thing we're always afraid of is we're going to get 20 plus nominations in like the last 2 days, and then you're going to see poor overworked elves crying and moaning and having meltdowns, because because we have to go through every single application, call every family. There's a bunch of stuff involved. So please, the earlier we get those applications, the better job that we can do, because we always work very hard to treat these families with the compassion, respect, and dignity that they deserve. And it just takes a little bit of stress off the elves.
Absolutely. I wanted to feature Jeremiah Craig and Kimber Broh as well. Jeremiah, how about we start with you? What can people find on your website? If you could kind of give a brief synopsis of your music and have people reach out to listen to some of your jams.
Sure, yeah. I want to talk about the Heritage Boot video that I'm going to be releasing that is a part of this raffle, because the video will go through the process of like what the boot is actually like, how well made it is, and also you'll be able to see them on an adventure, and that drops next Thursday. So on my channel, you'll be able to see everything about how beautiful this Flores boot is from Heritage. Seriously, guys, it's incredible. So don't miss that if you want to see what it's like, and then you'll be able to see everything on my channel relating to both Truckers Christmas group here and how you can donate and buy tickets to the raffle, and also get extra entries into the giveaway for my end too. So you have live streams coming up on my YouTube channel, music through the rest of December. It's going to be amazing, and everything can be found at jeremiahcraig.com. Or you can just search Jeremiah Craig on YouTube or Google and find me as well. That's JeremiahCraig.
Amazing, Jeremiah. I love your music, and I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy it. They definitely need to check out all your channels there. Kimber, where do people find Heritage Boots?
We're interesting because you go to www.heritageboot, no S, singular, heritageboot.com. We are the Heritage Boot, singular company. We have a fabulous Instagram, at Heritage Boot. Our Facebook is Heritage Boot. So I guess to answer your question, we are all day, every day, 24/7 Heritage Boot, the Heritage Boot Company.
That's what I'm talking about.
Made.
Yeah.
There you go. There's no confusion there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And one thing I want to point out, because earlier today I did try to find their webpage, and I made the mistake of adding an S.
Yes.
If it asks you to download a plugin, you're at the wrong site.
Thank you. Yes, that's why I always say Heritage Boot, no S. So boot, just end it with that hard T.
You know, and it's just fun looking through the website. Those
oh my God, isn't it?
They're a work of art.
So you know what the most fun is, I have to say, and I'm so behind on writing the boot descriptions, but Allie and I just really enjoy naming the boots. And so this goes to a boot that Tom was interested in. He mentioned on the break, the boot with no name. So during COVID, we started doing Facebook Live, And now when we get shipments in and we have time, we'll do a quick 15-minute Facebook Live. And we had gotten that black boot, which was originally the boot named Sue, but a boot named Sue had a black stained heel. The leather on the boot named Sue is black.
Okay.
The boot with no name or whatever that came in with a different color heel. So it had to have a different name. And we just realized it live, Facebook Live. And I called it the boot with no name. And then afterwards we went, oh, that works. And so it kept its name, the boot with no name.
It could be a song.
So we went to the desert wearing a boot with no name.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
That is so cool that you'll be able to go back to that moment and see when the boot got named forever now.
I know, right?
That's
It's in infamy as long as Facebook remains, which
That
it
is
is.
such a good story.
That's wonderful. We have about 2 minutes left. Tom, did you have anything else to add about TCGO so we can get people motivated?
Well, once again, if you know of a family in need, and we see this happen every year, that somebody says, well, I don't know if this family is going to qualify, or somebody will say, well, we don't want to apply because we know there's trucking families out there in worse need than us. 90% of the time when that happens, there's some of the worst stories that we see each year. So, please, if you have any doubt that a family may qualify, please go ahead, put in their application or put one in for yourself. It amazes me how many times we get people say, hey, if there's a family that has kids, put them before us. I mean, the generosity and the heart that a lot of these drivers have is absolutely overwhelming. Go to tcgo.org, click the nominate button, fill that out if you know of a family in need. Secondly, don't forget the concert is coming up this Saturday evening at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. It'll be on our Facebook Live channel, or you can listen here on tncradio.live. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can donate at tcgo.org as well as shop the online store. And if you want to do it from your cell phone for the donation, you can text donate to 540 Rudolph.
Excellent.
Great.
Well, I am excited, and I want to thank you, Jeremiah and Kimber, for being involved with this wonderful fundraiser. Truckers Christmas Group is so meaningful and so great for families who truly need it around the holidays. That can be such a tough time.
I agree.
And
It's
thank you
such
for
an
being
honor.
on the show. I'm sorry, Kimber, what?
Such an honor to be on the
Yeah.
show, to be
For
real.
involved with this. Jeremiah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been fantastic, and definitely check out tcgo.org. They need contributions. They need volunteers. Please help some more families right around Christmas because it's so, so very important. You're listening to the Truckers Network radio show here on tncradio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly. We've been talking with Tom Kyrk from Truckers Christmas Group, Jeremiah Craig, and Kimber Broh from Heritage Boot Company. Stay tuned for the Evening Surge coming up right here on tncradio.live. Thank you for listening to another great interview on tncradio.live and the Truckers Network radio show. All of the material you hear on tncradio.live, on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of tncradio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live.